Hello, this is SJ Talks and Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, please, and thank you. I'm hearing a new term on YouTube. A lot of the woman's sphere on YouTube been talking about, and I'm starting to hear this term a lot, and a lot of women are starting to talk about it more and more. I've said in some of my past videos that more and more women are embracing singleness, including myself, and more and more women are embracing singleness, and um, hence the term decentering men. Hearing a lot of women talking about decentering men. I had to Google it. I had to Google it to kind of get the exact definition and understanding of it. Um, decentering men is basically that instead of like most women put a lot of energy and focus on finding their ideal marriage mate, um, and sometimes a woman can put so much emphasis and focus on that to the point to where she's not focusing on paying attention to other areas of her life, and she could also be putting so much focus on finding a marriage mate, a partner, man, that it could be clouding her judgment. I know sometimes a woman can be so focused on getting a mate to the point to where it could cloud her judgment, and where she's not making rash and sound decisions when it comes to finding a mate. So when you and then you're not taking the time to work on yourself because you're so busy focusing, spending time, energy, and a lot of time thinking about getting a man, that they don't take the time to focus on working on themselves. In the worst case scenario, some women jump from one man to the next. They jump from one relationship to the next. So they're not taking the time to heal properly. They make not, and that can be problematic if you don't take the time to heal. Particularly if you get out of a relationship where was hurt. It was pretty bad relationship, leaving a bad relationship, and you don't take the time to properly heal. You just jump into another relationship. Well, that can be a problem because there's women and men that jump from one relationship to the next, and they don't give themselves opportunity to heal and work on themselves. It maybe recognize a pattern, and figure out why you're picking certain types of people. Because good thing came out of me being single all these years is that I was able to do a lot of soul searching and a lot of deep self evaluation, and I was able to see and understand why I chose the people that I chose in past relationships. Excuse me. And so I could really take the time to think about that and meditate on that, and then just all these years was been able to really recognize my pattern and recognize why I made some of those choices in men. So if you're jumping from one relationship to the next, you're not taking the time to figure out why you're picking a certain type of man, or to work on yourself and self-evaluation. And that's very, very, very important. Or otherwise, you're just going to keep picking the wrong ones. You're going to keep getting into bad relationships. And all that pain is just going and stuff is just going to keep building up, building up, building up. And to the point to where you're going to get to the place to where you're so doggone bitter that it's going to be hard for anybody to be around you because you didn't take the time to properly heal. And so that's a big reason why women should considering decentering men. And then, society tells us women that our value and our worth is associated with finding a man, with being a wife and being a mother. Aren't we told that, ladies? We're told that our value is associated with being a wife and mother. This is what society tells us. And even religion, even religion kind of does that too in a way. A lot of religions do that too. And so because we got society and stuff and people, telling us that this is what makes you, this is what defines your worth as a woman, being a wife and mother. And if you don't become neither one of those things, or you become one and not the other, then people are looking at you like something must be wrong with you. If you either don't become either one, or you become one or not the other, one or the other. You either have children but never marry, or you're married, never had children. If you don't have one of the two, people looking at you like, okay, what's wrong with you? Like, if you don't have a husband or children, then people are looking at you like, okay, what's wrong with you? Why don't you marry? Why don't you have any children? Some women don't desire to have any children. Some women don't desire to marry. Or they might have wanted children and wanted to be married when they had them, so they was not able to meet a marriage mate so they could have the children. Because not every woman wants to be a single mother. And then you got women like me that I had children, but I didn't marry. So, people look at women like me, like particularly black women, like, you got 2 kids, you ain't never been married, yeah, you slutted yourself out or whatever. And that's, yeah, you're for the streets. And that's not always the case. Okay. Come on. We know how the stigma is with black single mothers, particularly if we've never been married. So, or if you're looking at women that is married but don't have children, because some women get married and her husband chooses that, make the decision that they don't want to have children. You have couples out there that make the decision that they don't want to have children, and that's okay. And then so people are looking at them like, they're looking at her like, okay, why don't you want children? You don't want to give your husband a child and all this type of stuff, and asking her all kind of crazy questions. And I did the video talking about people saying stupid things to people that don't have children. And so this is society. Society is consistently telling women that you need to have not just one or both of those things. Society is telling you that your value and your worth is associated with having a husband and children. And so that is not true. See, God is the one that determines our worth, not a man, not kids. God is the one that determines our worth as women. And so, but this is what society, and then people think that if you don't have a husband, or you never had a husband, and you're a woman of a particular age, there's something wrong with you. Or if you don't have kids and you get to be a woman of a particular age and you don't have children, people think there's something wrong with you. Why gotta be something wrong with a woman that maybe she didn't want kids, or maybe she couldn't have them. So people get really rude and disrespectful to women that don't have children. I get offended by it myself, and I have kids. But if you don't have both of those things, society, and people are looking at you like, well, there must be something wrong with you if you ain't never been married. Oh, you got kids? Especially in my situation, I have two fathers, but I'm never married. Okay, a lot of people look at me like I'm for the streets, and I'm not. Being a black woman, so that's that added stigma. And so, but decentering men basically means that a woman is pushing that, ignoring all that society mumbo jumbo, and ignoring people's ignorant thoughts and comments, and saying that, hey, I'm going to put me first, and I'm not going to be putting no focus on. I'm going to learn to be happy and content with myself, and not be worrying about trying to get a man, because sometimes we have to evaluate why we really want these things. We really want a husband or whatever situation like that. Do you want the companionship? Do you truly want the companionship, or do you or you worried about, or you thinking about, this is what society says, this is what you want. So a lot of that takes self-evaluation. I had to really stop and think about, since I've been embracing singleness, I had to really stop and think about why I really wanted marriage in the first place. And I think I did want it. A part of me, yes, wanted companionship. I don't think it was society, but I think that I definitely wanted the companionship, but I also wanted a father figure to my children, because I hated being a single mother. But I also wanted the companionship as well. But when you decenter men, you take them out of the center of your universe, and not putting so much emphasis and focus on finding a man, and you put yourself in there first, and start focusing on you, being the best you, building your relationship with God, getting therapy if you need it, if you need to unpack some things or some traumas that happen in your life. A therapist can help you with that. Getting a closer relationship with God, and learning how to, because they say happiness is an inside job. We can't depend on other people to make us happy. Happiness is an inside job. So when we find a mate, we're supposed to already be fulfilled and already be happy. And do you know that men are more attracted to women that are living their life, they're living their best life, and they're happy and they're content? Men are more attracted to happy women. They are just happy just doing them. That's an attractive quality to a man. And so when a woman really wants to get married really bad, and people tell her that, she really ain't trying to hear it, because reason why I know, because that was me. There was a time in my life when I really wanted to get married, and I would have people telling me that, yeah, well, you need to just be happy. Or I would hear people saying that, be happy and do you, and just be content, don't worry about no man. And I just could not receive it at the time. I really had a difficult time receiving it at the time, because I really wanted to get married. But now now that I'm focusing on me and working on myself and embracing singleness, now I'm able to better understand and fully embrace what that really means, And it means just being content and happy with yourself. Being able to be content and happy with yourself. And there's too many people out here, and men are guilty of that too, that they ain't happy with themselves. They always got to have somebody, and they ain't happy with themselves. You got to learn to be happy with yourself. You have to learn how to enjoy being with yourself. before you can really bond with somebody else. Because then what happens is when people rely on somebody else to make them happy, then they're still miserable, because when that person does not fulfill all the requirements that you require to make you happy, then you're going to be miserable. So at the end of the day, you can't rely on somebody else to make you happy, particularly if that person has got their own issues that they're dealing with. So that's the biggest misconception. You don't get married to be happy. You're supposed to already be happy before you even get into the marriage, because you're putting too much responsibility on that other person. You're putting you're putting 100% dependence on them to make you happy. That is a lot of pressure. I wouldn't want no man that is putting 100% responsibility on me to make him happy. Because what if I do something to make you mad or disappoint you in some kind of way, and I don't feel that requirement in a certain area, or what your requirements is for me to make you happy, then completely happy, then you're going to be mad at me, and it's going to cause problems in the relationship. That's too much pressure. You're putting too much pressure on that other person. It is not their responsibility to make you completely happy. And I realize that there is a lot of there's some other areas in my life that I need to be fulfilled in and to be happy in, that don't have nothing to do with a man. Like getting financially stable, wanting to accomplish certain things or do certain things. A man can't do that for me. That's something that I need to do for myself. And so that is decentering men. Just taking all your focus, the man, focusing on the man out of the equation, and focus on you. Focus on working on you and getting you together. That's decentering men. But men might take it the wrong way as you're bitter and you don't want nothing to do with a man. No, that's not the case. It's just that you're just taking the focus off of being with a man and you're focusing on yourself. And I think that is a healthy thing for a woman to do. Even if a woman desires, it's not always about a woman not wanting to get married and not desiring marriage. Even if a woman desires to get married, she can still decenter men, because you will make better choices. If you still want to get married and you decenter men, you will make better choices. And you'll be able to take your time and find out if this is the right person for you. You won't feel like you're in a rush to now, land a husband or whatever like that. When you're decentering men and focusing on yourself and focusing on your being happy and content in your singleness, then you can take the time and you can make some really wise decisions on when it comes to getting a mate. You feel me? So hit me up in that comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are, women, ladies, on women decentering men. Do you think that is an important thing for a woman to do? I think it is. I think all of us single women should do that, because that gives you the opportunity to work on you and to be the best you. So, if you did get into a relationship, then a marriage, you're going to be at your best. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and hit that like, subscribe, and share. Until the next video, be blessed.